everyone! Welcome back to the second week of the DWIB Thrive Guide. This week we will be covering tips and tricks that will be helpful to you from the first week of class and onwards. To kick it off, we have tip number 1, which is get yourself organized. Organize your day using Google Calendar, an agenda, or whatever method you prefer. Make note of when your classes and tutorials are, your professor or TA's office hours, and any key deadlines. A cool thing about using Google Calendar is that Mosaic will automatically insert your schedule into your calendar, so you don't have to do it manually. Just go to the Mosaic homepage and click Copy Timetable to Calendar. This will copy your classes and tutorials into the calendar on your McMaster account. And it is really helpful as it allows you to set alerts, reminders, and color coordinate your classes. This will be available to start using on August 17th for the fall semester and December 17th for the winter semester. You could also get cute agendas or planners from the campus store, Walmart, Staples, or Indigo. Next, check out Rate My Professors, join Facebook groups, or talk to upper year students to learn tips and tricks about professors' expectations and how to best succeed in those classes. Thirdly, frequently check Mosaic or My Timetable if you didn't get into the courses you wanted to, as they may open up during the first week of class. Just as a reminder, you do have until Wednesday, September 16th to add or drop classes and rearrange your schedule. Finally, start off the year with a positive and motivated mindset, as this will keep you going throughout the year. Don't let yourself fall behind, and don't be afraid to reach out for help and advice when you need it.
Tip number 2 is studying smarter, not harder. There are a few ways I like to do this. First of all, when I know the date of my exams, I'll schedule on my daily planner or desk calendar weeks in advance to schedule some study time. This is because nothing will surprise me this way, and it's actually better to chunk up your studying week by week versus just cramming the night before. It actually helps remember the content better. What I recommend is finding a distinct, quiet workspace and make sure it's clean. When you have a cluttered workspace, you often feel overwhelmed, so make sure your workspace is clean, free of distractions, and that it's just your space to do work and be productive. Also, I love my daily planner. I got mine from Indigo, but they have them everywhere, and it's really helpful because not only is it portable, but I love to be able to visualize my week. So when it's finally time to study, I recommend using various methods to understand the concepts. What I like to do is I'll always write out my notes, and then I'll say the notes to myself out loud, and then I'll do some practice quizzes or practice problems depending on what the subject is. Another great way to study is having study groups with your friends. It's a great way to divvy up the work and then explain it to each other afterwards. I often find when you hear your friend explain it to you, you remember that explanation better. And also utilizing Quizlet to create study decks where you can help, again, share it with your friends and quiz yourself at the same time.
Tip number 3 is knowing that balance is key. Although devoting time to your academics is important, it's also important to make sure to devote some time for yourself so that you can maintain a healthy school, work, and use your time wisely by planning out your study schedule, but also making time for breaks to do things that you enjoy. By doing this, we can ensure consistency and stability in our habits and also prevent burnout. A helpful way to manage your time and to keep track of habits is the screen time feature on iPhone. It is a feature that lets you track your downtime, your screen use, and set limits on certain apps, which are customizable depending on how much you'd like to study throughout the day. This helps you stay focused and not get distracted by notifications and apps. Another important point to be mindful of in maintaining our balance is to avoid procrastination. Delaying things may lead to a pileup of work that will only add more stress on top of our existing daily workload. Staying on track of your schedule will reduce your stress levels and ensure that you are keeping up with each of your classes and won't fall behind, which is something that can become very stressful to recover from. Something I personally have made a habit of to prevent procrastination is to get started on assignments and readings the day that they're assigned. I find that the sooner I get started, the less likely I am to put it off for later, since I'll be more inclined to see it through and to make sure that I get things done ahead of time. Maintaining a healthy balance also includes hydrating and fueling yourself with healthy snacks to keep your brain sharp while you are studying. And be sure to exercise and go for walks in between studying. Being busy with school does not mean that there shouldn't be time to relax, which is why finding a balance is key. Being disciplined with our time management and learning how to balance healthy habits with academics is what will ultimately allow us to thrive.
Tip number 4 is exploring exchange. As a McMaster student, whether you're in IBH or Commerce, you have the opportunity to travel to a different country and complete part of your undergraduate degree. Typically, you would do this in your third year of study. You have the option to do a full year, half year. There are different options available. And typically this process would start in your second year of studies. So in your second year, you would go through the application process, and it's also mandatory that you attend an information session just so you know what you can expect through the application process and the eligibility requirements for your average and also what's required for you to apply. Some tips that we recommend when applying for exchange is that you start right from the get-go to research whether this is something that interests you. As a part of your application, you have to write a statement of interest and also look at living costs to create yourself a budget. And you're also going to have to look at different courses that are offered through your university that can be an equivalent for the required courses you would have to take at McMaster. I highly recommend taking the time to really go through your statement of interest and do not leave it to the last minute. This is a really important part of your application. The whole application is really important, but this statement of interest allows you to express why you want to go to exchange and why you want to go to the specific host university. I personally looked at specific conferences, student organizations at the host university that I wanted as my top pick, and I wrote this in my statement of interest. And this shows that you've really done your research, and these are the reasons why you want to go to that specific university. If you have any more exchange specific questions, please check the DWIB website for more resources, and also look at the McMaster Global website for more specific details on how to apply and the requirements to apply.
Hey everyone, my name is Cassandra and I'm here with tip number 5, which is help your future self thrive. Although exams happen at the end of the semester, it is extremely important to stay on top of your academics throughout the entire semester by doing yourself a favor and keeping on top of your work each and every day. This will be extremely helpful for when you're preparing for exams at the end of the term. Be prepared for each lecture by looking at your course syllabus to seeing which topics will be discussed during the lecture so you can be prepared and familiarize yourself with the content that will be discussed before each lecture. It is important to have a plan and to take neat and organized notes during your class so when you go back to make your study notes, you can make sense of your notes so you can use them to study for your exams. It's important to keep your flashcards, your study notes, and your Quizlets updated so you don't have to waste time preparing them at the end of the semester, or you can just use that time to study from them at the end of the school year. Lastly, plan your study time accordingly and do not cram. Having a plan, and more importantly, sticking to that plan, is extremely imperative for your optimal success.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you found these tips helpful. Be sure to check out our website for more resources, and we'll see you guys next week.